Okay. It has been less than 2 days since I finished Supernatural, and I'm ready to talk about episode 18. So, if you're not caught up to Supernatural season 15, episode 18, and do not want spoilers, do not watch the rest of this video, okay? You've been warned. Full spoilers ahead. Instead of going plot point by plot point, which I think is pointless, since if you're watching this, I assume you've seen the episode, I don't need to tell you what happens, I'm just gonna touch on the things that impacted me the most. The first being realizing truly deeply to my core that nobody was safe really impacted me in a way that I did not expect. Because up to this point in Supernatural, obviously, everyone's in danger. There's always something happening. It's stressful, blah, blah, blah. The apocalypse, it's always happening, right? I never had like what I call a Game of Thrones moment with this show where I had the sobering realization that absolutely nobody that I love or care about on this show is safe. And not having the blanket of like, well, there's 8 more seasons to watch, so I know everyone's going to be okay. Or even if they die, they're probably going to bring them back like 8 times like they did with Bobby. Like, it's fine, right? I had the sinking realization once Charlie 2.0's partner got dusted, and then everybody in the warded room that Sam and Donna were putting together to try to protect everybody started going one by one by one. I had that Game of Thrones moment, which if you've seen Game of Thrones, you know what I'm talking about, where you realize, oh God, it's actually so bad. And that filled me with a kind of dread that I've never had while watching Supernatural before. And my stress levels rose to here. I could not stop comparing this kind of plot point with the stuff that happens in Marvel with Thanos snapping and like half the population of the universe disappears. It felt so similar, and like, especially with like the dust effect, I was like, oh my God, this is like Marvel all over again. I'm having PTSD. It was like, it was a lot, okay? And worse than that was Sam's reaction to realizing that nothing they just did made any impact whatsoever. And then Donna, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I can't even talk about Eileen. I was so mad. I was so upset. I was so beside myself. And Sam not even being able to like address the situation because he said like, if I go there, I like won't recover. Oh my God. Too much. And we hadn't even gotten to the main thing that happens in this episode. We haven't even gotten to it yet, but we're going to. So I need you all to know that I am a Cass girly. I'm a Castiel girly through and through, okay? One of my favorite characters of all time. Not just in this show, but of all time. And I need you to understand that when he died the last time on the show, in like season 13 or whatever it was, when he like suddenly got stabbed and then he died in front of everybody and his lifeless body was on the ground and Dean was like yelling to the sky and like his body was on the table and all of that, traumatizing for me. Absolutely. It took me weeks to recover from that, even after I knew he was okay. I was not okay. And so you can only begin to imagine what was happening to me when I watched episode 18. Now, I will preface this by saying I did know going into episode 18 that Castiel did not survive the series finale. I just did not know which episode it happened in. I did not know if it was 18, 19, or 20. Imagine my surprise when I got to episode 18 and realized, oh, it's this episode. It's this one. Cool. I didn't know when it was going to happen or where it was going to happen. I hadn't seen any spoilers from that. But I had a sinking feeling as soon as Cass brought Dean down the hallway and closed the door behind them and started warding the door, and Billy was like trying to get in. I was like, and realizing that they had nowhere to turn, nowhere to go, and they both were gonna die, I was like, I had that sinking feeling. And I was like, oh, this is it. This is the last scene. I just knew it. And what proceeds after that was nothing I could have ever been prepared for. I thought, given they've done Castiel dirty so many times in this show, I thought like maybe he would be able to say a few things and then he would die. I also knew that there was a confession of some sort. I didn't really know to what extent. I assumed the worst and actually was so pleasantly surprised by what we got. I When I tell you I was sobbing so hard, I like stopped breathing, I'm not joking. But not because it was the overwhelming shock of like what happened the last time he died, but because what he was saying was so beautiful and the acting performance by Misha was so breathtaking that I was like, I felt how special this scene was. I felt the weight, the gravity of this character arc from start to finish in this scene. The things that Cass said to Dean were things that I never thought that Dean would be able to hear. Like, things that I've thought as an audience member for years. Like, Dean loves deeply, so much so that it hurts and it manifests this way. And that, like, he cares and everything he does is because of how much he loves the world and his friends and his family. And I'm so glad that Cass they gave Cass the time to, like, tell Dean that to his face so that he could actually hear it. It was so special to me. And look, I'm gonna make a whole separate video on the Destiel of it all because, listen, it's no secret, it's no surprise, I ship Destiel. But I have a bit more nuanced take on it that I think maybe people expect me to have, so it's gonna deserve its own video. But it really changed me. Hearing Cass tell Dean how Dean changed him and how it was about, you know, not the like end result. I don't remember the exact thing he said, but like it's not the end result. It's like it's in the being. It's not in the having, it's in the being. I was like, take me to fucking church, Cass, let's go. I was like, yes, my boy. I was like, it was everything to me. The I love you confession, the tears. I mean, I could pick apart this scene line by line, and everybody has already on the internet. I'm late to the game, okay? But it filled me with such a sense of like completion, even though obviously I don't want Cass to die. I didn't want him to have to sacrifice himself, but it feels very in character. I won't lie to you, it felt very in character. And if Cass had to go, this would be the way. And I am so glad that that character got his final say. He got to really say what he felt, finally. And, you know, I don't expect that kind of emotional arc completion with a character on Supernatural like that. They don't do it very often, and I'm so glad they did it with Cass. Because unfortunately, we're going to talk in the other videos how we did not get that with our two leads, but okay. So, I am actually very much in support of how they did it, how it was said, how it was done. My sweet Castiel. You will always be famous. And weirdly, as devastating as it was, how much I cried, how much it hurt, it wasn't in a way where I felt like it left room for more. I felt like it was done so masterfully, personally. And that might not be a common opinion. I don't know. I don't really know what other people think about this scene, but that's what I think about this scene. So that's my uncolored, unaffected opinion. Again, Misha Collins, Emmys, Golden Globes, Oscars. Let's give it, EGOT. Let's give it to him. I'm just saying, like, because it's on the CW, it did not get the respect and attention it deserved. But as an actor, I'm telling you right now, he gave it his all. Okay? Okay, case closed.